Hey everybody, this is Rad Econon, and I wanted to make a video about mid-game base design, or mid to late game base design, depending on what kind of late game you want to have. And the reason I wanted to do this is, this is my first YouTube video, and I've really appreciated all the other content creators and the work that they did and the ideas that they've shared, and it's really made the game a lot more enjoyable for me. So I wanted to kind of reciprocate a little bit, because I had this idea that seemed kind of original. Maybe somebody's done it before and I just didn't come across it, but just in case it's not old and well known, then I will share this with you guys. Now my first two steps to do this are not terribly unconventional, but we'll get to the unique part in just a minute. First, you want to build in an open area, because we're going to be taking advantage of 3 dimensions, and you want to build away from where the flying manta goes through, because that kind of disrupts things. He can push you around a little bit, even though he doesn't mess with your buildings yet, I think. Oh, almost fell out of the sky there. And the second thing to do is gather your resources. You want to kind of have a good supply of raw materials coming in. And what I do, and this is up to you, of course, but I pull most of the stuff in by train, and a few things by pipeline, and not many conveyor belts coming in, but you can do that too. And then I do all my smelting and refining kind of in the open, because we're building in an open area to start with, and you want access to water, in case I didn't mention that already, because you use water for a lot of things. And then, and the reason I put things out in the open like this is because this is kind of a plannable thing. You know you got a certain amount of raw materials coming in, and you kind of know what everything is going to have to be turned into, although there's a little bit of room to tweak things and turn the same raw materials into some different refined products. But then I have this raceway here where I can kind of see what I'm using. So the new part of all this is the 3-dimensional core and ring design that I'm going to show you. And it's basically a core, which I have 3x3 walls here, and this takes care of all my vertical movement. Everything that goes from one floor to another comes through this core, and it goes out through these conveyor walls, and it comes to each of these manifold levels. And I like to build with manifolds because they're expandable. Each of these manifolds in this 3-dimensional structure can be expanded out by adding more foundations. And if you're building in an open area, then you've got room to grow in every direction. So at each level you've got 4 manifolds, and then you've got one level after another where products move vertically through the core, and they move horizontally around in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction in this first ring. You don't want to build any machines in the first ring, which is going to be 5x5 foundations. And then they go out to manifold. Well, there's no manifold in this spot because I just have a manufacturer here. But this is versatile because with not too much changing, you can sort of rewire it to build different products. Even the end game products. I've got one manufacturer down here that I had built one end game product with, and then when I had enough of that, I just it took me about 10 minutes to shuffle some belts around and get set up to that was autosave. Get set up to move or to manufacture a next end game product. Magnetic field generators here is what I'm working on currently. And so yeah, that's the general idea. It's a basically a core and ring topology with 4 expandable manifolds kind of sticking out in every direction, and you can kludge a few things in the gaps between. Like in this case, I've got this is a drone port which is shipping some materials off to my nuclear base, and there are just a certain number of fairly low rate items that the nuclear base needs to keep running without generating a lot of waste. And so that just goes in here, and a drone goes off and takes those things out, and the excess gets thrown into a sink. So you can stick drone ports off in the corners if you want to, and most of the stuff comes in from the refinery ports surrounding the base. So let me know what you think. Thanks a lot.